Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. Holidays are getting closer every day, and are you prepared? Have you made a couple Christmas cards yet? I've got a beauty for you today using a really pretty natural crumb cake base with some black and gold. It's really stunning in person, and I'm going to give you a good close-up shot of it as we get started at the stamp table. But while I got your attention, I want to remind you that when you place an online order in my online store, I give you awesome rewards, frequent buyer points, as well as a free project PDF tutorial. The project PDF tutorial is not something that I share somewhere else, so I would encourage you to head over to my blog and check out all the neat things that I have there, including stamps in the mail. Let's get over to the stamp table and let me show you how to create this beautiful card. And here's a great close-up of this beautiful card. It's not difficult. There are a few steps, but I'm going to walk you through it to show you how easy it is to put together. Let's get started. I'm starting with a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and this measures 5.5 by 8.5, and I love my bone folder, so I'm going to fold that in half and give it a crisp crease. Then I have a piece of basic black cardstock. This measures 4 by 5.25, and that's eventually going to just get layered on the background of the base of the card. This is the Winter Wonderland Specialty Designer Series paper, and like all of them, they're double-sided. Love the fact that obviously one side is for the holidays and the other one is in, so it gets you a lot of use even after the occasions are over. That's going to get mounted here. I'm going to grab my snail and I put adhesive on my sides. I'm going to mount that here at the very bottom of my cardstock. So we're going to set this aside, and the next thing we're going to work on is this gold glimmer paper that's behind the image. I'm using the Deco Labels framelits, and this is the second largest one inside the package, and I've pulled out a piece of gold glimmer paper. I've got my big shot already, so here's the magnetic platform and a clear mat on the bottom, and then my glimmer paper and my framelit here, and then a clear mat over the top. And all we're going to do is just crank this right through to get our image. So here we've got that beautiful frame now that's left over that we're going to use. I'm going to give you a little tip. Don't throw away these negative pieces. You can put a piece of designer series paper or a greeting behind here and get an instant card. Great use for those negatives. This is a scrap piece of crumb cake cardstock, and this is where I'm going to do my stamping with the trees. And I'm going to be using the basic black archival ink. Love this because I love how dark and rich it is. And these are the trees from the Wonderland stamp set in the holiday catalog. Gosh, it's beautiful. So we're going to ink up our trees. I'm going to stamp my trees right here in the center. And then without re-inking, I'm actually going to move it over a little bit and manipulate the height to get a few more trees in the background. So you're going to see I have varying shades of the black here on the scrap. This is the 2.5-inch circle punch, and this is going to give me my focal point. So I might have to, going to have to cut away a little cardstock. So I'm going to cut a little bit off the top here so I can come in here. And then you can decide what area you like the best to be the focal point of your card. Now we're going to add some snow, and I'm going to use the white gel pen. I always like to make sure I get started with this on some paper to make sure that it's flowing nicely. And once it's flowing well, you can actually just make small dots. And so I'm just working randomly, obviously at the top of the branches where more of the snow would typically fall. And you can put as much or as little as you'd like. And I am focusing on only the darkest image trees because I want to keep the other ones in the background versus the foreground. And I found that by putting snow on them, it brought them forward as well. This is a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and this measures 5/8 of an inch wide by 4.25 of an inch long. And you can manipulate this based on your greeting. I just know this is going to fit on there. And I'm going to actually heat emboss the words, "All is calm, all is bright." Same stamp set. Since I'm going to emboss, I'm going to prepare my surface first, and I'm using the Embossing Buddy. This is an anti-static bag that will actually tell the embossing powder not to stick where there is an ink. It's a great tool, and it eliminates all the flecks. Here's my Versamark pad, and I'm going to tap and ink up my words in Versamark. And I'm going to stamp those right here on that strip of crumb cake cardstock. I'm going to use a coffee filter to help catch my embossing powder, and this is the gold embossing powder. I'm going to put my strip over it, and I'm going to pour very generously, because that coffee filter now will allow me to put the powder back in here so nothing's wasted. So there we go, that's all powdered. Next is the heat tool. 2 speeds, I like to use it on high, and I'm going to heat emboss this. Now I'm careful to hold it at the end because it does get very, very hot. So I'm going to use it on the end. Once the heat tool gets warm, it stays warm. And I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but the powder is turning like a foiled finish. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you concentrate on one area at a time versus going all over the place, you can make sure that you don't miss a spot. Now, because it's hot, I'm going to flip this around and do the other side. I don't want to burn my fingers. Next step is going to be a banner tip on the ends of this. Since it doesn't fit in the triple banner punch, I love to use my hexagon punch. This area right here, this point, is going to make a perfect banner tip. Watch. Thread this in, decide where you want it, visually find the center of your paper, and then just punch that out. Look at that. And I'm going to do the same thing now on this side. Okay, we are ready to assemble. Put some adhesive on the back of the black panel that we created, and that's going to go here on the crumb cake cardstock. That was the base of our card that's going to open. The next piece is going to be this beautiful piece of gold glimmer paper, and I'm going to use dimensionals. I want this piece to stand up so it can be a really nice focal point. And I'm going to put 4 on. My mom, who is not a stamper, tells me that when it arrives at her destination, and it's this beautiful layered card, it never comes out all even. So she said, use more of those puffy things. She doesn't know the name. It's kind of funny. So that's going to go here on my card. Next, I have that focal point image. And again, I'm going to use some dimensionals. And then my words, I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of those as well. And just to make mom happy, we're going to use 3 so it's balanced in the middle. And that is going to go here at the bottom of our card. But one last thing, because I love accessories, I'm going to use one of the snowflake elements. These little small balsa wood pieces are absolutely stunning. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the back, and I'm going to add that here near the front. Now it's important that you attach it so that it's actually on the circle, because you don't want it to flimsy here on the back end. And of course I had to bring in a little bit of that gold by using a sequin I pulled off from the sequin trim. I love this little pickup tool, and no, I'm sorry, we do not sell it. It's made by, people ask me this all the time, I think it's Quick Pick. And that's going to go here on the card. And look, it's all done. So here's the one we've made today, and this is the original. I am so glad that you joined me, but remember to check out on my blog. I have all the dimensions for cutting this card there, as well as some awesome project PDF tutorials that are in my library. I also offer stamps in the mail, so head over there and make sure you shop in my online store for some added rewards. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.